What'd you say? You came home yesterday and what?
Never mind. I was going to complain. I need to stop doing that. It's one of my big goals this year. It's not healthy for me to complain all the time.
I feel you.
It was funny. I printed these. I printed this for the party.
Oh, yeah?
None of them know what this type of glasses mean.
Yeah.
And these two old guys that I'm friends with, Joe and Alan, they were bitching about everything. And then they started going, and all these guys, they bitch all the time and they complain. And I'm like, what have you guys been doing for the last hour?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are funny, but...
Bold and smooth.
And it's got L-theanine in it, so you don't get the... I don't...
You don't get the coffee jitters?
Yeah.
But what did you say? Apple's rumored to be putting out like a little pad?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that say in March they're coming out with a... I think the maximum is going to be like $250 for basically a wall thing that you can set up that's got all of this stuff on it.
For your wall, for your desk.
But like this one here is LifeX. Mm-hmm. And if I hit the bedtime one, it does this.
Right.
Where the up light is the only thing that's on. Mm-hmm. And I can't access that anywhere but in their app.
Right.
I can't even set up the home app. Well, I think there's probably a way to do it, and I'll figure it out, but most people are not going to figure it out. Siri, turn on the sunny room lights 100%.
There you go. I thought she wasn't going to do it, but she did it.
They have a real opportunity, Apple does. Just make it easy.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be the thing that they're good at, but the problem is that they keep making it so that you can't hit a button that says resync. Sometimes you got to go, like, you got to reboot your phone, but you got to know how to do that. They've made it so hard to just, like, reboot things. When all you need is a button that says reboot everything.
Yeah.
You know, like if your mom could just hit a button and have everything in the house reboot, it would all probably start working again.
It probably would. It probably would.
Maybe there's an app for, we could make an app for that.
Like a better version of the home app? Do you use the
No,
home
just
app?
a button that just takes everything and reboots it.
Yeah.
Whatever's already linked, whatever accessory is already in your app, in your home app, it just
be a free app. But you only get 2 free button presses. After that, it's $1 every time you press the button. People be so frustrated with it, and if it worked, just like, fuck it, I'll spend $1.
or $20 for life.
$20 for life.
Grab your camera. I want to show you this. So I've been having trouble programming it, but I'm gonna put this out, another version of this out in the main room, and this one here, it turns on bedtime.
Yeah.
And it turns on all the lights at night.
It turns out everything
when I go
else.
to get in bed, all I do is hit this, and then look at this.
There it is. Can you control it from your phone if you're in bed and it's too bright?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely. And then I think I have it set so that it'll change the profile.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
No, I'm just taking care of details that things I haven't touched in a long time. you know, like those outlets that I fixed and whatnot.
Yeah, but it's not a specific New Year's resolution.
No, I'm just trying to like put up new lights and things like that. Little things I haven't been taking care of.
Yeah.
What about you?
Not really. Just thinking maybe my New Year's resolution should be to watch more movies.
More downtime?
No, I don't consider watching a movie downtime. Like,
You doing research when you watch a movie?
I mean, it's like looking at a painting. You know, it's like exposing yourself to more art.
Oh, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked in the last time that we met. We talked about maybe taking the Mike Minis and a camera and going to that museum. Would that count?
The Visionary Art Museum. No, I'm talking like I want to watch more movies specifically. So, one day into the year, one movie down.
What'd you watch?
Anora.
What the hell is that?
Anora. It is the best fucking movie of 2024
All right,
that I saw, hands down.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
I have it. I have the file. I could drop it in the shared folder or something. I think you should definitely watch it. It's
How do you spell it?
Anora. It's directed by Sean Baker. And I just then I started listening to podcasts on it. I guess it won a lot of Golden Globes. But it is,
It's a comedy.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
it shows that it says it's a comedy.
yes and no. It's got funny moments, but it's a real.
It says it's $20 if I want to buy it on Apple TV.
Yeah, don't
buy it.
Don't buy it. I can put it in the shared folder and you can watch it.
Here's the trailer.
Yo, did you pick up milk?
Do you see milk in the fridge?
No.
Then I didn't pick up the milk.
Wonderful. Thank you.
What's this about?
She's a sex worker. She's a exotic dancer. She meets this kid, this guy who's a Russian oligarch's son. And they get married.
Я просто хотел тебе предложить. Ты хочешь быть эксклюзивно со мной?
15 cash up front.
Deal.
And then his family has huge issues with it. So
If I get married to an American,
so see, it's not like your traditional comedy, but there are some moments in there that are funny, and then there's some really thought-provoking moments in there. So this guy Sean Baker, he did this movie Tangerine that he shot all on iPhones. And in an interview I listened to with him today, he's like, shooting with iPhones is so non-intrusive. Like when you're out in the real
Everybody
world
just
filming.
they just don't see it as a camera in their face. It's just an iPhone.
Yeah, so he filmed a whole movie with that, and it allowed him to do certain things that you couldn't really do with a big Hollywood-style production. Now with this one, he is using 35 millimeter film cameras and everything, and it is a much bigger production. But he's like, I applied some of those things we would do with the iPhone, like in terms of quick setups and not being very intrusive, and the result is a particular style of filmmaking. Like,
What kind of style would you call it?
well, just his visual style, his production design and visual style. I don't know if I could really put a name on it other than like Sean Baker's style, you know?
But what did you like about it?
It's a fantastic story. Cinematography is top notch. The acting performances,
Is bespoke a good word for it?
I don't really use that word or know what it means.
Hey Siri, what's bespoke mean?
Bespoke describes anything commissioned to a particular specification. In contemporary usage, bespoke has become a general marketing and branding concept implying exclusivity and limited runs.
I don't know. I mean, just like any director
It wasn't
has.
a very good description of bespoke. It's kind of off. It's just generic
Yeah,
in the moment.
it's a good fucking movie, man. There's a scene in the beginning is like a montage of her working in the strip club, and he said he filmed it from all the way on the other side of the room with a telephoto lens, and she had a microphone on and an earpiece, and he was talking to her the whole time, like, "Hey, go talk to this guy," and it was completely improvised on her part.
That's a little bit what bespoke means.
It's-
Kind of improvised and
It's fucking good, man. It's fucking good. It's a good watch. And then number 2, I watched half of it last night. I'm gonna finish it tonight. Is Challengers. Zendaya is in it. Spider-Man's girlfriend. And
how do you say her name?
Zendaya. I don't know.
I've never been able to figure it out either.
But
She's a good
it's-
actress, though. I saw her in Dune
Her
and in
and
Spider-Man. She's
good.
She's great in both of those.
this is like pretty serious role for her. But it's like about her and 2 pro tennis players. And it's like deep into the world of professional tennis.
And she's a girlfriend. How is she? get
She's
into
a
it?
professional tennis player in the beginning. And then I think she's got some kind of injury. And then she married the other pro. But they're like, Andre Agassi level, like Adidas sponsorships and everything. It's like the top of
Her
the
too?
top. Yep.
Before she gets hurt.
She got an Adidas contract and everything. It's
Yeah.
pretty good. What's interesting about it is it's not very. I don't know if how they're gonna tie it all together, but it jumps all over the place. It's like 2 weeks ago and it shows you a scene, and then 12 years ago and shows you a scene, and then 13 years ago shows you a scene.
Pulpy, like Pulp Fiction.
It's pulpy, and it's like, I mean, it's such an interesting way of like.
Filming something.
Yeah, because a movie's a collection of really good scenes, but like
What's the name of this one?
Challengers, you don't really need to tie it all together in a linear style. That's the beauty of it. You can do whatever you want, man.
Do you like watching cartoons?
Not
Adult
really.
ones.
I mean, I like Akira. I like Ghost in the Shell.
Have you seen Arcane?
Arcane.
Yeah, I think it's Arcane. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Did you see the whole series?
No, I haven't seen it, but
It's really good.
I saw what it was. Is it a series?
There's 2 seasons of it, and I feel like they wrapped it up and at the end of the like I think there's 8 or 9 episodes of each season.
What is it about?
I couldn't tell you, man. I don't know how to explain it to anybody, but the artistic level of it is, and the fact that it goes with a plot is just.
Is it like futuristic?
No, it's. It feel like there's aliens in it, right? Like they're just part of society, right? Mm-hmm. There's people that look like they're rats. And there's people that look like they're lizards, or it's just all over the place. But the plot is decent. It's like you're not. I loved it because you just get sucked into every single episode.
Yeah.
Like you're halfway through it and you're like.
Is it on Netflix or something?
Yeah, it is. It's really
I've seen
good,
it.
and the art in it is just amazing. It's very colorful. There's a lot of mysticism. There's a lot of science. But they don't get into the it's kind of like this. They took magic, mysticism, religion, science, art, and they put it in a blender, and they came up with something that's watchable. And it's just, I think it's amazing.
Nice. I'll check it out.
They have this tech in it they keep talking about called hex tech, but they never get bogged down with like explaining exactly what it is.
Yeah. It's a comic a graphic novel that they converted, right?
I don't know.
I think it might be.
It probably is. I have a feeling like there's this huge following about this and that I'm going to be able to find out a lot more about it.
Yeah, people are super into that shit.
Netflix series is really, really good.
Yeah.
And then it in the last season, it goes back in time and looks at how they got to where they're at. And then they actually break the dimensional realm where they go to some of the characters end up going to different dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
And then they end up coming back to this dimension. And I think just for the art wise that you'd love watching it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since there's been anything animated that I've gotten really into.
What's the director? I can't remember his name. I never get it right when I try to remember it. Miyazaki? Kiki's I can't remember.
Kurosawa?
Yeah. It's a little bit like that style. Like there's just this it's just massive color the entire time. One of the main characters starts off as Powder is her name, and then later on they call her Jinx.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just like, and it's funny to me too because they never really explained Arcane.
Yeah.
What did you say? How did you say it?
It looks like it says Arcane.
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 I think you're right. Arcane. They never really explained that either. But one of the characters is gifted with that power, and I spent a good part of the first season going, well, are they going to explain Arcane? And then they really don't light up or start that being a massive part of the plot until like the last 3 episodes of the second season. So I feel like there's going to be a lot more seasons of this.
It's a League of Legends tie-in. So like
What is League of Legends?
It's one of those video games that people play.
Oh,
Like I guess it's an RPG.
I think I've heard Elon talk about it in that video you shared with me where he's talking to some of the Trump's granddaughters.
Yeah, and they asked him if he ever played it. And
He's like
no.
the space industry would hurt.
Yeah.
If I started playing that game.
That shit's big. A lot.
I think that was
play.
I think that was actually a compliment on League. It's like it would just suck me in.
2009. It's going back to 2009. It's a multiplayer online battle arena video game. But I think people are really people based their whole lives on League of Legends.
Wow.
So that's why they don't need to explain it on Arcane because they're like, everybody knows.
Well, I liked it after the first episode. Like Netflix did a great job with the whole series, I thought, simply because it stands on its own. You know, the fact that it's tied to these other things just means that I'm more likely to watch more of it. But I like Ghost in the Shell too.
Ghost in the Shell is cool.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell was awesome. I loved what what's her name? She's coming out with a second movie too. Lucy.
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
She plays, and she's in the Ghost in the Shell movie.
Yeah, and I didn't think they did a good job with that movie with her.
I didn't see it.
I think that she was a great actress in it, but the movie wasn't.
The animated one is so good. Like, you don't need to. I think they made it Akira live action too.
And it's specifically a Japanese
Yeah.
movie, so I don't know why they didn't pick it. Why they didn't make it more Japanese?
Cultural appropriation.
I don't really care about all of that. You know, I don't have a problem with the way that she played the character, but it just didn't seem to me like one of the things that I liked about watching the movies, the Marvel movies and stuff like that is that they pretty much stuck to the cartoons and then they built around it. They didn't feel the need to restructure everything. Like if you watch, there's this old cartoon series, I forget how many seasons it is, but it's called Avengers Assemble. Mm-hmm. And if you watch it, they're like 20 minutes apiece. You'll notice that some of those 20-minute ones they've taken and they've pushed them together into one of the movies, and some of them they've made entire movies about this 20-minute cartoon, but they basically stick to the same plot.
Yeah. And that's the way the comics rolled. I've watched all those Avengers Assemble. Jackson was real into that shit when he was like little.
I mean, even the Guardians of the Galaxy are in it.
Yeah. Yep. My biggest problem with the early 2000s Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, was that his web shooters were organic. They came out of his body. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what the hell? In the comics, he's like a scientist kid. He builds his web shooters and that hand movement.
That's what I mean about the Marvel movies. When they got Spider-Man involved in it, they went back to
the back
baseline,
to him building his things. Yeah.
Exactly how Spider-Man was created. And I also like, too, that they didn't really get into, well, at least not in the Avengers part of it. They didn't get too much into Spider-Man's background.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he had his own movies. I like the standalone Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland.
And then the one that they did, the last one that they did, they basically said, well, all of these different Spider-Mans are from different universes.
Yeah.
And so they didn't have to undo all of Tobey Maguire's. They got to pull him into it.
Yep.
But he is just a different universe.
Yep. And then they did the exact same thing in the Flash movie with Batman. They were like,
I don't know why
we're gonna do
DC
that
is so broken. But DC doesn't seem to be able to get that these movies all need to chain together seamlessly.
Yeah.
And they just keep hiring different directors that are unwilling to do this. And breaking it up, and so that
yeah, it's like
there's a methodology to it that's been follow the canon.
The canon is watered down at this point. It's all fucking over the place. I mean,
just missed opportunities as far. A lot of the DC movies I liked as standalone movies anyway, but I just feel like what's I'm certain that James Gunn's new movie about Superman is going to be good. He's a good director. I loved all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but it feels like another complete disconnect. And do we really need another quasi origin story of Superman? I mean, how many times are we going to do the origin story of Superman? It just isn't that damn interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot. We just did it. We just did it like 10 years ago. And now we're doing it again.
But I also feel like they picked an actor that looked enough like Cavill.
Yeah.
Like they're not planning on not making any more movies with Cavill. I don't know what that's about. Like the Superman costume is similar to Cavill's, but different.
Those superhero movies have to be some of the last biggest money makers out there as far as movies go, with all they generate with the toys and the merchandise and the tie-ins. I mean, your other movies aren't cranking out the kind of money that Superman's going to crank out, I guess.
I don't know. But I didn't mean to completely derail the conversation from where you were going.
No, we're talking about movies.
Yeah. So what was the last one you were talking about?
Challengers.
What's that?
That's the one about the tennis pros.
Okay. Challengers.
Yep. So anyway, I'm just trying to be a little more mindful about the movies I watched this year rather than going to Netflix and scroll around and then start watching some show that I got to invest
That isn't that good.
2 fucking weeks in. That isn't that good.
Like the 100.
Yeah.
Where
White Lotus season 3. I'm ready for that. That comes in February. I really like that series. I'm gonna watch that. But
I didn't get much more than like 2 episodes in. Does it get better?
Oh, it's so fucking good. It's so
I'll try it again.
uncomfortably good. Like, I feel like the whole point of it is to have some moments that make the viewer extremely uncomfortable.
Did you watch The Expanse?
The Expanse?
Yeah.
No.
It's really good.
Yeah, what is that?
It's hard to explain too, but it's basically we've populated the solar system, and we've got people who are living on asteroids that they've put together, and they're mining, and there's all of these different cities, and I forget what they call them. They have a name for them, but it was a really good. It was picked up. I think Amazon bought them. I forget where they were first, but yeah, The Expanse is excellent.
All right. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do is just educate myself on, because I used to be very into it, and then,
Life.
I used to be very into. I had newer directors that I really liked.
See, I've never followed directors
and I would look
quite
forward
like that.
to their films coming out, and like, there's still directors I like a lot, but in terms of new people doing new things, like, you gotta go out there and find it. You gotta go out there and find it, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of really cool shit. There's a lot of crap too. You gotta wade through the crap.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Well, like, I have a friend that says all music made today sucks. Like,
That's not true.
New music is garbage, and like,
How old is he?
he's almost 40.
That's when it happens.
But there's a lot of really cool people doing a lot of really cool things. But you're not going to turn on the radio station and hear it. That's just not the way the world works anymore.
Well, and there's so many different channels and so many different streaming services and so many different movies to watch that wading through it is really hard. You could definitely put together something where you've got the things that you're posting because you're wading through it.
Well,
like I'm already planning on watching a couple of the ones that you're talking about.
Well, that's what I'm going to do on Twitter. I did that in the car today when we got out of yoga. I'm going to post every movie that I watch with the movie poster. So that way I can look back. And I'm giving it a 5-star rating too. Nora, I gave a 5-star rating. So, but that way.
You're going to post the ones not to watch, right?
Well, I'm going to post the ones that I watch and don't like.
Yeah.
It's about the number that I watch.
Yeah.
Try to do 100 movies this year.
That's a lot of movies.
A movie every few days, yeah. It's not that much. 2 hours, boom. I was in and out of that movie for 2 hours.
Do you just sit and watch them when you watch them?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because some people do other stuff while they're watching something. I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
I've never been able to do that.
I can't focus on that kind of thing either. Like, I need to watch the damn movie. Subtitles sometimes. Like, you got to really pay attention to what's going on.
Arcane was the one where I actually I could have sat there and watched 3 episodes at once because it's that good.
Yeah.
But I was actually saving it to watch,
Yeah.
spreading it out.
I do like the streaming services now that, like, HBO still releases one episode on Sunday nights, you know? Like,
Yeah, I don't like that.
you don't like that? That's the
No.
way you grew up.
Yeah, I don't like that.
If you get in on something like The Penguin that I just watched, it was awesome. Because every Sunday night, I have to look forward.
Yeah, but I might not be able to watch it for a week.
Yeah, but then you watch 2 episodes.
And then I
one
want
night.
to sit down and over the next 3 days I want to watch 1 episode every night and it's not available.
Well, but
And
once
then it might be 2 weeks again before I can, you know what I mean?
once it premieres, then they're all there. You can go back and watch The Penguin.
I do
then.
think that it's good that some companies do it that way. Don't want everybody doing the same thing. That's dumb.
It builds a little
I
anticipation.
like that Netflix dumps the entire series or season
Yeah.
because then I can watch it when I want. But
It just makes it more forgettable to me when I can watch it in a weekend. I tend to feel like I forget it more. And, like, with a series that airs once a week, you know, like, I know a guy at work that watched that series too. And I go and be like, man, did you watch that episode last night? And we converse about it and talk about it.
yeah,
And you think about it, wonder what's going to happen, speculate what's going to happen. And then Sunday comes, you get to watch another one. And then, you know, it's the cycle. And I feel like I'm more mindfully thinking about the series then, and, like, a little more invested in it rather than, you know, because if there's a show I really like, I'll, just like anybody, binge the shit out of it.
yeah.
4 episodes today, 4 episodes tomorrow, boom, 8 episodes, I watched it. So, but that's when you really realize how much time has passed since, like, the 80s were what, 40 years ago? Like, the way we consume media
Well, the amount of
is completely different.
stuff to consume.
Completely different.
Yeah,
Everything, you're like, man, that really was a long time ago. I was trying to explain to my son how I was using different strokes with Gary Coleman.
what you talking about?
What you talking about, Willis? My favorite show, but, like, Thursday nights at 8:30, you had to,
Yeah,
Be
there was no
there.
DVR.
yeah, and
There was no VHSs even yet.
yeah,
When you and I started watching stuff, like I can remember watching Mork and Mindy,
yeah.
and Mork and Mindy there was no way to record that shit.
No, you could not record it, and you know,
There was no DVDs. There was nothing to rent later on. There was no way to go back over the seasons.
if you missed it, you were screwed. If you missed it, if you had something,
And especially if you missed it, because everybody at school is talking about it. So even if there was a way to catch up on it, like what was that series that David Lynch did?
Twin Peaks,
Yeah, that one.
love it.
That one there.
I watched
Give you-
that from the pilot episode as it aired. My brother and I watched that all the way through.
I didn't watch it until I think 10 years ago. Then we just devoured it.
Twin Peaks is insane. Have you seen Fire Walk with Me, the movie?
No.
Fire Walk with Me came out way after the series.
Oh no, I did see that.
That's the prequel.
Yeah, I think that's why I got into watching the entire series again.
And then the real mind fucker of that whole series is the pilot episode. It ends. The whole series ends. And it's a Twin Peaks movie, and it was like the pilot, and there's beginning and an end. And
All in the first.
all in like an hour and a half. And it's like, whoa. That is, looking back on it, Twin Peaks was very influential to me. 'Cause I was young when that came out. Hey Siri, what year did Twin Peaks air?
She's thinking about it.
1 moment.
Why are you so slow?
The first season of Twin Peaks was aired on the 8th of April 1990. The show continued to run until the 10th of June 1991. A third season was aired in 2017. This is from Wikipedia. For more, say open this on iPhone.
I didn't watch anything from 2017.
You haven't watched it recently? I think that's the whole reason. The 2017 one is the reason why I went back and watched the entire series.
If I watched it, I don't remember it. He films the scenes backwards. So, have you seen Wild at Heart?
I'm certain I have.
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Laura Dern?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what he did first. Wild at Heart or Twin Peaks? But it's like the same music, the same cinematography. It's completely in the same style as Twin Peaks. That is like one of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, that's crazy how similar it is.
What you digging for?
These. You want one of these?
What is it?
It's like mint. Let's try it.
What's the grams?
6
Ooh.
milligrams.
I was looking up different series that have been on Netflix.
So how does a Plex server work when... So John has a Plex server, and if he says, I downloaded this movie, you should watch it, you log into his Plex server and watch it?
Yeah, I have a login on the Apple TV. There's an app for Plex on the TV.
Okay.
And
So
you could ask him if you could get access to it.
I don't need access to it. I want to make my own Plex server.
Ooh, this is intense.
But that's what I want to do. I want to make a Plex server, and I want to put movies on there that, like, you know, if you want to watch one, so you would log into my Plex server and watch it. I got you. That makes sense.
There is a series I'm looking for that I really liked on Netflix. I've been watching Black Dove. It's pretty good.
Black Dove?
Dove.
Black Dove.
She's a spy. Yeah, I'm not going to even try to explain it.
I'm going to try to put, while you're in there,
The Diplomat was good. Do you like, you don't like political series, though, do you?
I don't watch political series.
It's more about politics and espionage and stuff like that.
I got you.
So it was pretty good. Oh, yeah, Arcane is really cool.
All right, I put Honora in the Zac and Heath shared folder, so you can watch it.
You should text John and ask him. His Plex server seems to work pretty consistently, so he might be able to help you get started.
I have it set up.
Oh, you do?
I just haven't really added anything to it. I gotta watch. I watched a whole video. There's a few different ones that people use. But I just haven't quite figured out how to add my movies to it yet. But I just need to spend an hour. Whew. Man, I've been writing and writing and rewriting. Pretty solid. I feel like I got a pretty solid 3,000 words with like a pretty cohesive story. for my encounter with Cesar Romero. And I got pretty deep into, some other aspects of my Batman collection. I'm like, this is my chance to tell that whole story about collecting Batman stuff and how I got into it. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good one.
Have you ever, I have a feeling I know the answer to this already. So, but do you ever read self-help books at all?
No. I mean, I listen to Motivation Daily podcast.
There's this one called Effortless that I read. It was the last book I read this year. It was based on Chris Williamson's podcast.
I was going to ask if it was tied into that.
Yeah. And he's got a number of different books out there. This is his third one. And I think there's a section in it. Actually, I think you'd... I think you already do, personally, some of the things that's in the book.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a long read.
Yeah.
And even if you were to just go to the back of the book, and he's got this section on writing and stuff in there.
I like that guy.
And
that's the guy with that British accent?
Yeah, but
I like
the book
that guy.
isn't him. He's a British guy too, I think. Greg.
Why do those guys like that have podcasts not read their own book? I always find that weird when they do it. You figure it would be him reading his book, right?
Well, no, I mean, Effortless is Greg McEwen's book.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you meant it was Chris Williamson's book.
Yeah, no. View in the store here. The whole idea is to make these things that we make difficult more effortless.
Yeah.
And I think I already started my vacation, my time off during Christmas and New Year's. It'd be like if your life is cluttered, it's hard to unclutter your mind.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what I've been trying to do.
Unclutter your mind. Yeah.
Well, just unclutter. Like I've got all these little things that I haven't taken care of.
Yeah.
That kind of like stand out. You know.
Just trying to take care of some shit, man.
Yeah. So that's the light switches is next on my.
You need to get a good wall mount for that jet surf. That would look bad as hell, like hanging up on the wall. That would look cool as shit. And it'd be out of your way.
It's going to take up a whole wall. You know what I mean?
It is going to take up a
I tried to find a better spot than that one. Just up against the fridge. And I was like, you know what?
Oh, John's here. You can put it on that wall.
John's home?
Yeah.
John's home!
What's up, man? Not a whole hell of a lot.
He's even got his own personal soundtrack playing around him as he was walking around through the planet. We're talking about movies. What was your favorite movie this year?
I have no idea.
Well, what's the first one that came to mind?
I have no idea. This year, I don't know.
You were just telling me about one recently that I needed to watch.
Oh, Heretic's really good.
Heretic.
Heretic.
I also liked Wicked too. Saw that in theater.
Heretic. That's with Hugh Grant. I saw it the other day. I almost watched it. Instead, I watched the newest Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, how was that?
It was pretty. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Better than the fourth one.
Oh yeah.
I skipped that one. The Last Crusade.
They're all done in the same style. So if you're tired of that style, you shouldn't watch it.
Isn't that where they made him young with like artificial or digital intelligence?
For a good piece of the movie, they did.
Yeah. How'd that look?
It was done well.
It was done well.
I didn't. I was like, how much of this did they shoot in other movies? And I thought, no, they just did all that AI.
The one I couldn't get past was, did you see The Irishman? with Scorsese, where he made like.
Yeah, Irishman was good. I honestly, I didn't notice the de-aging until I remembered it was de-aged.
See, it bugged me. I was like, man, it's just something looked weird about it.
What was the Star Wars movie where they brought back that general completely from the dead?
That one was decent, but they also knew like they kept the shading low because they knew like it was still a little plasticky. They did okay.
What did they do? They had him film new scenes and he was
What
dead?
was the general's name?
General Zod? That's the guy from Superman. General Grievous.
I can't remember, but it's one of the main guys.
Yeah, he's been dead for like 3 decades.
Yeah.
And they brought his entire character back.
That one definitely felt.
What was that? That was the that was one of the better extension movies, wasn't it? The oh god, what was it called? It's basically where they go and they steal the plans on how to destroy.
Oh, was that Rogue One?
Yeah, it was Rogue One, I think.
Yeah, Rogue One was good.
Because he was piloting a whole Death Star at the time. That's why they brought him back.
Yeah.
I thought they did an okay job with Princess Leia, but that one you could definitely tell because she's in all white robes. And they had to put her in all white robes because it would have been weird to have her dressed differently.
I met her. She rubbed glitter all over me. Carrie Fisher.
All over you?
All over my arm. I had glitter all over my arm, on my face, and everything. She had a table, and it was just covered in glitter, and she was signing people's autographs.
Where was this at? Comic-Con?
At Monster Mania in Camden, New Jersey.
What year?
Probably 2012, 2013, I think.
Okay.
And I got her to autograph a picture to my son.
Cool.
So she wrote to Jackson, love, Carrie Fisher. She was like, it's so nice of you to get that for your son. And she said, wait. And she rubbed her hand across the table, the glitter, and hit my face and my arm. And she was doing it to everybody. So, like, the signed picture I have has, like, little pieces of glitter all over it and stuff.
That's cool.
It was very cool. She was super nice. She, like, some of those people, when you meet them, they rush you through.
Yeah.
But she took time with everybody.
She was just taking her time.
So we were thinking, you know, I've been to those conventions a few times where these people make appearances, and the pricing has started to get a little crazy. Like, you really have to pick and choose. There's some people that
Yeah.
$50 for a signature, $50 for a picture, $80 for a signature and a picture. But then, so like Johnny from Cobra Kai, right?
Yeah.
What the hell is his name? William Zabka. So he was there, and then the sensei, Kreese, he was there. So my son was super into that show. We went to go meet him. But you're talking hundreds and hundreds of people in line to meet
So they
them.
had to pump the price up to get the line down to a reasonable level.
But you figure if they're getting $80 a pop
Yeah.
times
100.
probably,
That's $8,000.
yeah. And they're probably on a weekend, they can probably get 5,000 people through their line. Not 5,000,
500.
500. But it's probably more than that. I mean, these shows are freaking packed.
So they're getting like $10,000 just for
They're getting
doing these.
And they are getting paid, and most people pay in cash, and they're just getting cash in hand. Everybody's doing it now. There's some big people doing those meet and greets, and they're probably getting, I mean, paying for houses with that money. I mean,
Well, it's all cash.
and it's a lot of the '80s stars are doing it, and they're getting paid. It's just like, it's wild, man. We went and saw, was it Kane Hodder? He played Jason in Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah?
Giant dude. And we met him once, and he was super nice, and like, my son was little, and my son was wearing his Jason mask and everything. The second time I went and paid extra to get him in costume. So we're standing in this hallway at like the Hilton or something. And you look down the hall and here comes Kane Hodder in full costume. Like Jason himself walking down the hall. It was so crazy. It was so crazy. And we got a picture with him. Me and Jackson got a picture with him. But he was like, Jackson was blown away, man. He was little. It was like Jason was really in front of us. So cool.
Sounds like a fun time.
It was good. It was good. I met Tracy Lords one time. My brother and I drove to New Jersey to meet Tracy Lords at one of those conventions.
Did she do Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie?
Nope.
Who was the one that did the original movie?
Christy Swanson. Christy Swanson. Paul Rubens. That was a big role for him. That was right after he got caught choking the chicken in the movie theater. So, like, his next thing was, like, he fully embraced it.
What are you going to do? You know what I mean?
There's a famous clip of him at the MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah.
Like, a month after he got caught, or maybe 2 months at the most. And he came walking out onto the stage, and everybody was going crazy, like, standing ovation. And the first words out of his mouth, he's like, has anybody heard any good jokes lately? And, like, it was pretty good. Yeah, he was just like, hey, you got me. How long do you think we've been recording?
Well, I can see the time up on the screen.
Oh,
over there.
can you?
It felt like 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, it was good. I mean,
Let's take a water break.
yeah.